Okay, so this happened when I was in college. I was taking a class in a different campus that was 6 hours away, and I had to get up really early for. The only time that worked was to do the night shift at the coffee shop where I worked. All the notes were written in the same handwriting. Sometimes the notes would appear during the day, and sometimes they would appear at night. The note would arrive, and we would have no idea how it got there because the coffee shop is locked after hours. But since we both had classes in the morning, we couldn't spend all day sitting there waiting for something to happen. I guess he hadn't noticed that it was closed because he walked right in and looked around. He was old, smelled like stale cigarettes, and seemed confused. I was sure that he was going to come over the counter and try to hurt us. My friend and I were shaking and terrified behind the counter. Finally, he made his way to the front door and walked out without a word. My friend and I breathed a sigh of relief and decided to lock the doors for the night. He stopped by the counter and asked us, "Is this the place where they make coffee?" We locked the door behind him and hid again. When he left, we found his wallet on the floor, and his ID said his name was Oliver. Sometimes he would walk around the store. One night he tried to walk out the front door, but the other side was locked. He started pounding on it and screaming, "Let me out! Let me out!" He scared the crap out of us, but he eventually calmed down and walked away. We decided to call the cops. They came out and investigated but didn't find anything because he didn't leave any fingerprints. And Oliver, well, he became a ghost. I told him yes. He shuffled off again, this time to the cupboards. He kept saying things like, "What a nice place, and it smells good here," before shuffling off again. He said, "Who's that?" I told him the name of the band. I liked that band. I used to dance with a girl named Amy. She loved that song. Then he was gone. My coworker and I screamed and ran to hide behind the counter. "I'm sorry, but you have to give us 2 weeks' notice." I swear to God, this place was like a nightmare. I had been working at the coffee shop for almost 2 years at that point, and I was done. A few weeks later, I read in the newspaper that the coffee shop burned down in the middle of the night. Also, if you have a story that you want to share, please send it to the email below. I would love to read your story. Anyways, thank you so much for listening, and have a good night. Bye. No one was hurt, but the building was destroyed. After I finished my shift, I went straight to my manager. Not once did he ask for a single, a double, or an espresso. He was talking to me one night, and I heard footsteps in the storeroom. It was daytime, so I knew that it wasn't Oliver. If you don't believe me, check the security cameras. I went to check it out, and the storeroom was empty. I shrugged it off and went back to the front. Always, just black coffee. He would sit and drink it slowly, then it would disappear and he would leave. Plus, management would freak out if we left early, so we had to stay. She wasn't concerned at all. She said, "Oh, he's harmless. He comes in every now and then. He just likes to hang out in here." She unlocked the door for him and went to go talk to him, while I stood there shaking in fear. The manager came back in and said, he asked if you could make him a coffee. I was like, "No, I'm not doing that." "You're kidding, right?" But she insisted, so I made him a coffee. During the day it was open, so there was no way for customers to leave the notes because all of the employees knew the customers. Then he got up and left. The creepiest part was that he left his wallet on the table. My manager grabbed it and called him, "Hey, you forgot your wallet." He just laughed and said, "Oh, I don't need it anymore." She gave it back to him, and he left. And if anyone new came in, we would definitely remember them because we didn't get that many customers in general. My manager said that she'd switch me 2 days, which was great. But the next day when I came in, she told me that she could undo it because a new manager had come in and switched my schedule back. I was so frustrated. I didn't want to listen to her, and I went straight to the new manager. She listened to me and then told me that she'd sort it out. I was fine with that because I was always more productive at night. Plus, there was another woman who worked the overnight shift with me. It was just her second week, and she was a lot of fun. We got along really well. The first couple of nights were pretty slow. Not much happened. Then one night we noticed that someone had left a tip on the counter for the previous barista. It was written on the lid of a cup and it said, "You are the reason that I am still alive." Then the next day it was gone. Once we even saw the shadow of a man walking past the front door. The shop is very small. There's only one door and one window. We never saw him enter or exit. We were kind of grossed out by it, but figured maybe it was some weird one-off thing. Then the notes started coming daily. Sometimes they would be compliments about how great the service was. Other times it would be weird comments about our appearance or personal lives. And then we started getting non-physical things. Cups would fly off the cupboard, the radio would turn itself on, and classical music would play at full volume. My coworker and I were super freaked out about all of this. Then one night it got bad. We were closing up, and this guy comes in through the front door. "How can I help you?" I called out. He just continued looking around the store. I could hear him shuffling closer and closer to us. This went on for a few minutes. I don't know what to tell you. In the morning, the manager came in and we told her about the customer from the night before. He took it and sat down at one of the tables and drank it really fast. I don't want to work the night shift anymore. That night my friend and I were working alone, and this guy shows up again. He continued coming in at night. Sometimes he would sit and drink coffee that we made for him. One night he tried to talk to me. I had just put on a new CD by Evanescence. The CDs that we had in the store were all rock music. He was gone for a month. Then he came back. One day, I found a baby in the stockroom. "I quit," I said. She responded, "But why?" You've only been here for a few months. Well, I've had enough. There is something weird going on in that stockroom, and I am not sticking around to find out what it is. She gave me a strange look and said, there are no security cameras. Wait, what? Why wouldn't there be security cameras? I don't know. The owners must have forgotten to install them. Oh no, forget it. Here's my apron. As I was leaving, I told her to watch out for babies in the stockroom. She just rolled her eyes and walked away. That was the last time I saw her. Okay, that was the end of that story. And if you like scary stories, then please subscribe because I put out videos like this every single day.